There are a few things that exceptional leaders do superbly well in their communication. Things that get their team on the same page, that inspire others to follow them, that bring out the very best of every single member of their team. That's what we're going to talk about today, what these skills are that you need to focus on to be able to be amongst the best leaders. So the first skill is respect. This is crucial because when people do not respect one another, when you as a leader do not respect someone on your team or treat someone with respect, it's going to breed a culture where others aren't expected to respect one another. And that's going to lead to a lot of conflict and challenges. When we approach one another with respect, even when we disagree, even when we're disappointed with one another, it opens the door to being able to have the hard conversations that we need to have to be able to lead a team to success. So the very first thing to focus on is not only making sure that you're respecting everyone, but that expectation is clear within your team. And that situations where people are interacting with others in ways that are disrespectful are dealt with and addressed so that culture of respect stays solid. The second thing is empathy. This is super important. I think we've realized this more than ever nowadays, that people need to feel heard. When they're experiencing challenges, before you give somebody an idea or a solution, let them know that you understand what they're going through. Now, this doesn't mean that you've been through it and you know exactly where they've been. That's not quite showing empathy. So if someone says, I've had a hard time managing the kids and working from home lately, if you go right into how it's been so hard for you too and start talking about your own experience, we're stepping a little bit out of empathy here. We want to really be saying empathetic statements such as, I hear what you're saying. It sounds like you're having a really tough time at home with the kids. That sounds difficult. So empathy is number 2. Number 3 is being able to set good boundaries. Being able to tell people what your needs are, tell people when you're unable to meet their needs and when you are able to meet their needs. Having good boundaries is crucial as a leader. The higher you move up in an organization, the clearer you need to be on your boundaries because you are going to be solicited a million times over. So knowing when you need to say no is crucial to being able to communicate effectively with your team. The fourth skill is being able to communicate directly. I see this so often when people think they are expressing their needs directly, but rather they're expressing something that bothered them and expecting the other person to infer or read between the lines and figure out what is expected of them. And it leads to a lot of confusion and a lot of frustration. So for instance, if you're saying to somebody, I noticed that you got your report in late last month, that's okay to say if it's followed by, can you tell me a little bit about what's been going on? But if you're saying, I noticed you got your report in late last month, as a way of telling the person you need to get it in on time next month, then that's a problem. Because you're not explicitly and directly telling the person what it is you're expecting of them. So practice being very direct in your communication, telling people exactly what you need. It may feel uncomfortable if you're not used to it, but I promise you that with time you'll get used to it. And also you'll start to see that people will let you know that they respect you telling them what it is that you needed, because then they're able to adjust their behaviors consequently. And then the last skill is flexible thinking. So flexible thinking means being able to see a situation from multiple perspectives. It's part of what helps us understand another person's perspective. When we can be flexible in our thinking, we can understand that my experience of a situation may be different than yours. Although I may think a decision is good for the team or one of our customers, somebody else may see the situation differently. Flexible thinking means these two perceptions can exist at the same time. It means being able to try to understand where someone comes from and change or adapt our thinking based on new information coming in. It is a key skill to being an effective leader. So I hope this was helpful for you. You perhaps picked up a few tips on things to work on or skills to bring to the workplace to make you the most effective leader you can be. Leaders who demonstrate these skills regularly are really leaders that people speak very highly of. They're those leaders or managers that we think back to 20, 30 years down the line. And, we remember that that person had great influence in our life. So if you're hoping to have that kind of influence on someone's life, these are some of the key skills to practice.